What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm down at Carolina Auto Direct and we're going to take a look at one of their 2021 Toyota Tacoma TRD Offroads. So huge shout out to them for providing this truck for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website because they have a ton of 21 inventory in stock. I'll have all their information down in the description below. But as you can tell, this TRD Offroad is finished off in white and has a list price right around $46,000. But we're going to start off today's review with what powers the Tacoma. Up underneath the hood, you'll find the 3.5 liter V6 engine paired with the Atkinson cycle technology, and this also has the 6-speed automatic transmission. It pumps out 278 horsepower around 6,000 RPM and 265 pound-feet of torque around 4,000 RPM. It is rear-wheel drive with the 4-wheel drive system, weighs in right around 4,400 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in just under 7 seconds, up to its top speed of 113 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 21.1 gallons, so you can expect to see around 18 miles per gallon in the city and 22 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 127.4 inches. Its overall length is 212.3. It has a width of 75.2, a height of 70.6, and its ground clearance measures in at 9.4 inches. It also has an approach angle of 31 degrees, a breakover angle of 23.9 degrees, and a departure angle of 29 degrees. As we work our way to the exterior now for this Tacoma, I'm going to start off with the headlight housing here. So this model does have projector beam headlights, but it does feature LED DRLs that are on the outside corner. We have the turn signal right in the middle. It's a really nice housing for the Tacoma, and I like all the contoured lines that surround it, especially as we get towards the side front quarter panel there. So it just gives it a great look, and all the bodywork is nicely integrated around it. And then as we work our way to this massive grille, you'll see it's finished off in a really nice dark gray. Plenty of cutouts in this to provide maximum cooling to that engine, as you can see. And then we have the Toyota badge right in the center, which also acts as a forward-facing sensor. So that's a part of the technology features that are offered on this model. You'll also notice there's a cutout in the middle section of the bumper here, where we have some nice trim pieces surrounding the fog lights on both sides. You'll also notice for the TRD Offroad model, this comes with a plastic color for the front bumper cap here. Of course, this has a skid plate up underneath. And then as we work our way to the hood, you can see there's really nice lines coming down both sides and meeting the top of this grille really nicely. As we work our way to the side profile now for this Tacoma, the TRD Offroad offers the smallest wheel choice. And that's of course, if you're taking this off-road, it's going to better protect that wheel and give you more side tread on your tire. So this model has a really nice set of 16-inch wheels. They have a two-tone design along with a 6 split spoke design. I think it's a really nice wheel choice against this exterior white. You'll also notice too that this model has the eibach suspension. So we have all those components up front along with the shocks in the rear. And then running in the lower section, you'll see the aftermarket running boards along with the mud flaps as well. And then this does feature a pinstripe. It runs from the headlight all the way through the decal in the bed. And it also features body colored side mirrors. You can see the integrated turn signal, and there's really nice lines that run down the side profile. You can see one right in the middle of the front quarter panel. We have a really nice design in the lower section of the door that also extends to the lower section of the bed as well. And then being the TRD Offroad, we get more plastic on the fender flares. This is something that might get a little bit beat up when you take it off-road. And then last up for this Tacoma, you'll see the backup cameras on the left side of the release handle for the tailgate. You'll also notice Toyota is spelled out in that handle as well. And then we have Tacoma stamped into the lower section of the tailgate, which I think is a really nice design. Of course, we have the taillights on both sides. With the TRD Offroad, you get the chrome for the bumper end caps. And then this also has a towing capacity up to 6,400 pounds. Now it's time to take a look at the interior on the Tacoma. So I have the truck locked and the key in my pocket. All I need to do is grab the door handle and you can hear it unlock. And now we can take a look at this door panel. So there's really nice material running down the armrest. You can see all of the window controls along with lock and unlock and the side mirror adjustments. The chrome release handle is located just above that. This truck also has a 6-speaker audio sound system, and you can see there's a good amount of storage space in the lower section of the door. And then as we make our way to the interior now, this model has the all-weather floor mats, which is really helpful to have. And now we can take a look at these two-tone seats. So they have a really nice design to them. I love the pattern running down the insert, and they are also automatic seats. So we have all those controls down on the side. And now that we're inside with my foot on the brake, it's time to start it up. And then looking at the gauge cluster, you'll see over on the left side is the tach and the engine temperature. On the right side is the miles per hour and the fuel gauge. And then right in the middle is the LCD screen that offers a lot of information. We can use these controls over on the right side of the steering wheel to scroll through all of this. So right now you can see the miles per hour along with the distance till empty. We can pull up the average MPG along with a live readout in the lower section. You can also look at your trip distance along with how long the vehicle has been on. And then the last setting here is your time until rest. So if you have been driving this truck for a long period of time, it will tell you when it's time to pull over and take a break. We can also look at TPMS and then the off-road settings as well for your pitch and roll. You can also pull up any messages and then go into settings, which is basically the technology features offered in this truck, and you can turn those on and off, which is very helpful to see. You'll also notice the outside temperature on the upper screen there, and of course the odometer on the lower section. And then as we work our way to the steering wheel now, you'll see it's completely covered in leather. It's perforated on the sides and solid on the top and the bottom. Also over on the right side, you'll see a back arrow along with a customizable button. There's the front sensor along with the lane keeping assist, and then the cruise control stock is on the back side. And then over on the left side is volume and tuning for the radio, along with Bluetooth and voice commands. There's also a mode button for the stereo as well. And then as we work our way to the left side, you can see the control for the power outlet in the bed, along with the automatic headlights. There is a cargo light that you can turn on and off, which is very helpful. And then traction control is just above that. You'll see there's one air vent with a really nice trim piece, and that matches well surrounding the 8-inch screen right in the center. So you can see that running around both air vents on each side. And now looking at this screen, which is a touchscreen system, you can use these buttons on each side as well. So right now on the home screen, you can see audio and phone along with live readouts for MPG, and you can configure this depending on what you'd like to see. If we click on menu now, you can pull up audio and phone, projection, which is how you can pair your phone to the system. You can also go into the apps when you have these up and running, update anything that you need to. You'll also notice info and setup. There's map over on the left side, and then on the right side, you can see a shortcut to apps and phone, along with seek and track for the radio. You'll also notice power and volume for the radios on the left side, and then tuning is over on the right side. And then just below that, you'll see a small LCD screen for the climate controls. So it's really nice to see that separated from the upper screen, and it's very easy to go through the system. You can see temperature for the driver on the left side, temperature for passengers over on the right side. We have fan speed right in the center, and of course you can see that adjust on the screen. And then we also have off and a few other controls. This truck also has heated side mirrors, so we have that button over on the left side, as well as all of the four-wheel drive selectors and the engine start-stop button. And then just below that, you'll see a row of buttons. We have the ECT power, which is your electronically controlled transmission. You can use this when towing, so it will keep the truck in a higher gear, so it's not constantly shifting, which is nice to see. You'll also notice we can slide open and close the rear glass. There's a USB right next to that, along with a 12 volt. And then this is the power for the wireless charging pad. You'll see that located down below. It's a really nice spot to place your phone or any larger items. You'll see there's two cup holders just behind that. And then as we work our way to the shifter now, with my foot on the brake, we can put the truck into reverse, and you'll see the backup camera, which has really nice graphics along with the guidelines. And then you can shift using the shifter down here. So again, if you are towing or even off-road, you can hold the truck in a certain gear. You'll also notice we have the manual parking brake on the left side, another cup holder, and a little bit of storage on the right side. And then working our way to the center armrest, you'll see on this truck it does have a locking center armrest. So there's a code, of course, that you can put in, and you can lock or hide any items right in the center, which is really nice to see. And then as we work our way to the glove box now, you'll see there's plenty of room for any items that have to go there, along with Tacoma stamped on it. So that's really nice to see. Ties in nicely with the Tacoma stamped in the tailgate. We'll take one last look at these seats, which have a really nice two-tone design. And then up in the center, being the off-road, this comes with crawl control. So you'll see all of those dials right here. I'll link some videos down in the description below on how the system works. I do own a TRD Offroad, so those videos will go into more depth on how to use these. But we have the multi-terrain select on the left side, and then the crawl speed over on the right side. So you can use this dial here to go through the different settings from rock, mud, sand, whatever your terrain is, you can set that. And then we have the crawl speed as well using this center dial from low to high. So that's really nice to see. This truck also has the rear locking differential, and the dome lights are up here too. As we jump into the back seats now for the Tacoma, I'm going to start off with the amount of room that's back here. For a mid-size truck, it's pretty good. I have the front seat set at my height, which is 5'10". I have a few inches in front of my knees and a few inches above my head. As I mentioned earlier, I do own a Tacoma, and it's a little bit tight, but it is doable. I could be in the back seat here if I needed to and have two other people next to me. So it's functional to have this back seat area. You'll also notice that there are two cup holders right in the center, along with a little bit of storage behind the passenger seat. And this back seating area is very configurable, so you can flip up the bottoms where you'll find some hidden storage space. You can put tools, any off-road equipment that you need underneath those compartments. You can also do that behind the backrests as well. So you can fold those down. They have a 60-40 split to them. You can put in any items behind those compartments. And then you can also fold these seats completely flat. You'll notice that there's a really nice hard material on the back side of these seats. So if you have any items that you're throwing in the back seat and you don't want to damage the cloth, you can fold the seats down, have a nice flat surface, and put in any larger items that you need to. And now it's time to take a look at the bed for this truck. It does have the shorter bed, so the 5 foot, the 6 foot is available for the off-road too. But now taking a look at this tailgate, if I just grab the handle, this does have the soft open tailgate, which makes it very usable. You'll also notice too on the inside, we have some tie-down hooks. There's also some channels where you can put some tie-down hooks as well if you need some extra ones. Over on the passenger side, you'll see there's a little compartment along with that outlet that I showed the control for earlier. You have a usable bed here. You can throw in any items that you'd like to. I put motorcycles and dirt bikes in the back of my bed. It's very usable. And then with this tailgate, it is very lightweight, making it very easy to close. All right, so getting this 2021 Toyota Tacoma TRD Offroad out on the road. As I mentioned earlier, I do own a TRD Offroad myself. It's a 2017. I have around 30,000 miles on the truck, so I'm very familiar with this platform, but I do like some of these subtle changes for the 2021 versus my 2017. Of course, any model is going to have some upgrades over the years, but I really like the front grille, how it's not finished off in chrome like it came stock on my truck. We have this dark gray finish, as I already showed. And then there's some interior differences too. We have automatic seats, a little bit larger of a screen with the physical buttons on both sides. Same climate control setup, the knobs are just a little bit different. And there's a little bit different of a placement with some of these other controls. But I really like the Tacoma. I think it's one of the best midsize trucks that you can buy. And with that, they also hold their value incredibly well. Even on the used market, this has around 11,000 miles on it, and they hold their value incredibly well, whether you buy brand new or even if you buy a used one, especially now with how the economy is. The Tacomas are going up in price. They're holding their value. So if you buy a Tacoma and you decide to sell it, you're really not going to lose any money. You might even make a little bit too, which is another factor why I love the Tacoma. But aside from that, it's a great mid-size truck. If you're not looking for a full-size truck, you don't need all that space in the back seats. This is a great platform. It's very small and nimble. I take my truck off-road, so it's really great for the trails if you're looking to do that sort of thing. But if you just want a truck in general, you want something that can tow. This can tow up to around 6,500 pounds. Realistically, you can go around 4,500 and be okay. You could go a little bit over that if you needed to. It's not the greatest towing vehicle, so if you are towing every single day, go with a full-size truck. But I've been able to tow smaller trailers, boats around 4,500 pounds or so, and it gets the job done if you're not doing that often. And I also think it's a really comfortable daily driver. My Tacoma is basically my daily. I drive it all the time when I can, and I love it. It's very quiet on the interior. I love how upright feeling you are. We have clear visibility of the hood here, and then general visibility over my left and right shoulder. It's really easy to see all around. Pickup trucks, as I've mentioned in previous videos, really don't have any blind spots. So you can look over your left shoulder, you can look over your right shoulder. But now let's go ahead and give this truck a little bit of gas, getting up to the speed limit here. It's not the quickest truck. I have seen a lot of comments on my personal vehicle that it's very slow. I honestly don't see a problem with it. You're not trying to go 0 to 60 in a Tacoma, so getting up to the speed limit just like that is fine. So compared to some of the other competitors, it has a little bit less horsepower, but I think it's fine for a pickup truck. And it also handles really well for a Tacoma. The suspension, it varies depending on the models that you go with. So this has an eibach suspension on it. Even getting hard on the brakes there, I didn't feel any of the brake dive. I know on my stock Tacoma, it definitely had that with the suspension that was offered on that truck. So this one feels a little bit stiffer, and of course you can change that aftermarket if you'd like to. Backup camera does a really good job. I also wanted to touch briefly on the crawl control system. So this isn't something I'm going to be able to test out in today's video, of course, but this only works when you're in four-wheel drive. So you have to be off of the pavement, of course, and it's a really nice system. I know a lot of people think having the truck doing it for you is kind of cheating compared to having a manual or doing it yourself. But I have used that system before, and sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's not. But it's really nice to be able to learn this system, especially if you're a newbie off-road. You can let the truck do the braking and the acceleration and kind of learn the lines that you're going through and what to do in certain situations. And then once you feel comfortable, you can do it yourself. But I have been in some situations where I simply couldn't just get up a line and I had to use crawl control. And it's really cool to be able to see that technology and see that work in a truck. So if you're stuck, you can't figure out what to do, you can let the truck truck do the work, get you out of that situation, and then you can go back to driving the truck yourself. So I think that's a really cool system. I'll have some videos down in the description below if you'd like to see that system in use and how it works. We also have a good amount of versatility in those back seats there. So while it's a small truck, you have a lot of hidden storage compartments in the back, which is really usable. I use them all the time, putting whatever I need in the back. So that gives you even more seating space in the back. It doesn't take away from putting passengers in the back seat, which is of course great to see. But aside from that, I think that's gonna wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive, getting this 2021 Toyota Tacoma TRD Offroad out on the road. I'm not going to be able to take this off-road, of course, but I'll link some videos down of my personal vehicle taking it off-road, using the crawl control and all of the mods that I have done to my truck. So if you're interested in this Tacoma and what you can do, definitely check out those videos. Once again, a huge shout out to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this truck for me today. Make sure you also check out their website, that's down in the description. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button if you'd like to stay up to date on our daily uploads. And I'll see you in the next video.